Hello and welcome to, well, finally another video. My racing schedule has been pretty packed recently with several events over several weeks, and it's meant a backlog of editing to do, so finally we're getting back to it. And this was Whilton Mill quite a while back. As you can see, tricky conditions. We've got wet and dry lines about, and it's very tricky. And I did have some issues filming this, as you can probably tell by the black bars on the side of the screen. The camera was set up how I normally set it up, but for some reason I must have hit the wrong button and changed the aspect ratio, so we're very square at the moment, which is the only good thing about it is you can see a bit more of my footwork. But yeah, this is the qualifying lap, so we'll go through this. Very tricky conditions, so you're using sort of wet lines and the driest parts where you can find it, so I'm breaking off the dry line, trying to hook this tight to then get a good exit to the left. Then you see how slippy it is here, the wheel spin, and then I sort of throw it into a drift here to try and get it driving down the hill, braking in the middle of the road again to try and get that sort of, not the dry line basically, but you can see it just understeers well wide onto the concrete. Concrete isn't too slippy, thankfully. Nice wide line through this turn here on the left. You can really feel actually you get a bit more grip here, but then into this one, this is so slippy, like especially in the first race, which you won't see unfortunately, but I'll get into that. But yeah, and then finally come through here. As you can see, I've caught up to the people I let go at the start. You saw I was backing off at the start, but we're just not quite going to catch them, so we've just about timed this right, for us anyway. And yeah, last corner, nowhere near that monster curb, thank God, and just sort of, well, floundering around really. The 176, P7 for qualifying, that's for race 1, which you won't see unfortunately, because I actually managed to find one of the only karts which didn't have a mount on it, so I couldn't film, even if I wanted to, which was quite frustrating when I found that out, I have to say. But yeah, very tricky conditions, so P7, not the best, not the worst, I'll take it. Yeah, going into race 1, obviously I would have started 7th. Here you can see I've started 4th, which is an improvement. But yeah, I'll talk you through race 1 now. So race 1 we had firstly a telling off because basically the track had dried out quite a bit more, but there were still wet patches, and in the last corner in particular there was a wet patch on the exit. So you'd turn in and then understeer off, and you'd get used to it after a lap or two, but you'd realise sort of where the grip is and how you have to take the corner. But unfortunately there were so many instances of people going off there, and that was a track limit hotspot, that the radios got clogged up with people getting penalties, and JV stopped the race, gave us all a quick chat, a bit of a slap on the wrist, and then we got going again. And in that race I believe we picked up the fastest lap actually, but in the end finished, I think I did finish 4th on the road as well actually. Not like I'd got penalties or anything like that, so that was good. So improvement, and say fast lap showed that I had decent pace. I don't think I quite got involved with the battle of the leaders. Getting past people with just a dry line is really tricky, and I was really struggling with that during this whole event, and so I was losing a lot of time just in back markers really, which so it's the same for everyone, but yeah, I was not quite up to their level getting through back markers and things. But yeah, coming to this one, it's actually very similar conditions to race 1, so we've had more rain since race 1, because it was actually pretty, I'd say like 85% dry by the end of race 1 I believe. This one's now back to reset back to maybe, I don't know, 30% dry, if you can even say that. It was really greasy and horrible. So another sort of voyage into the unknown for the start. So just sitting here behind MY, got Tim on the left. Tim's won once again in the first race because he's just unstoppable at the moment. He's on such a roll, so good on him. But yeah, so we got MY next one, and then we got Dan Brewer, I believe, on the left. I think that was it. I can't remember actually, but yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Coming into the thing, the marshal's giving us the thumbs up to say we're good to go. There's no one that's had a stall or needs to get into his grid spot. So going to start P4, on the outside in turn 1. Not really where you want to be on the wet, because you get all the people drifting into you, but hey ho, we'll get going. And immediately we've been actually, you can see that we've actually been put a little bit on the grass. We're lucky to avoid Anwar there. We could have easily have T-boned him there. Thankfully I just missed him, because that would have been a hell of a conversation afterwards, I think. Yeah, braking nice and gently into the first. It's so tricky to know where to push, when to push, how to even consider getting around half these corners in this sort of condition. So just feeling it out. I've already lost a little bit of time, so I'm sort of conscious that I need to get a move on really. I don't really want to lose these guys. Following people in this one's quite nice, because you can learn a lot from it, or make a better job of it, let's say. Yeah, watching these two in front, yeah, so you got Anwar, Dan, and then in front of them, I think it's Alex Pritchard in the very, very high vis suit. Can't miss him. Yeah, so, and you see Anwar's made quite a big lunge there, and he's crossing both time. And we're just going to absolutely send it around the outside. You can see I didn't have as much grip as I thought I was going to get, but we've got the inside anyway for the last, penultimate corner-ish. Dan's come back around the outside with the superior grip of the outside line, but up into P4, bit wide on the exit, but we have made it into P4, so that's a good improvement. Going into turn 1 again, so gentle. You can just see how sort of, this is usually like a flat out section in a dry, and here you can just see how tentative we have to be, and it's not even that wet. It's just greasy, and it's really tricky to deal with. Yeah, so we're looking good at the moment. So I'm a bit slow to get started here. I'd ideally like to be pushing the top two a lot more at this point, but we can't at the moment because I'm just not quite quick enough. And okay, I may have had a little bit of an editing error there, because I seem to have missed when Anwar got back past me and where the fellow with the red helmet also got back past me, but we're going to pretend I didn't muck that up. But Anwar came past me, I think, into it's Ashby, downhill right-hander, just got past and he pulled away. I just wasn't really getting to grips with these conditions. And you see 10 minutes in, I've just passed the guy with the red helmet who was 4th position, went a little bit wide, got the run on him. And then yeah, now we're just focusing on trying to just get through the lap traffic, and it's just so tricky because you see now we're taking all different lines because this track's drying up. So you've got the dry lines becoming more prominent now. Here I'm going up inside, actually I'm going inside the Martin, braking at my sort of normal point, and you just sail off because you just can't stop the car when it's wet like that. Thankfully Martin, he sees me coming, gives me a bit of room there to get back past, and I'm sure he had a bit of a chuckle when he saw me come flying past, making a fool of myself at that corner. But yeah, this is probably my worst conditions. I was really looking forward to Whilton Hill for the start of this because I've had really good results there the last few times, but this time it's been quite a struggle to just be really, really competitive like I was hoping I was going to be. But you can see now that's Dan and Tim in front of us now. They've had a collision. I think they're running 1 and 2, but for whatever reason they've both ended up right near me, so it's obviously gone very wrong if they've ended up that far back. But so now's a good chance to hopefully just tag along with you. You can see now we're taking pretty much dry lines. The track is still wet, but we're taking dry lines. Like here, you can see we're lifting, hovering the throttle. You have to take a wide line around this one. As you can see, that guy in front, he took a narrow line and got nearly sent into the car park when he hit the damp patch. But yeah, we're just trying to make sure we stick with them now. Trying to just try and make the most of the time we have behind them, because that is really key. And then try and pick up some information, but I'm still not really being able to go as fast as them. And I don't really know what I was doing too wrong, but we're well back now. You see Charles just in front there, you see the bright green, so I think that's Anwar as well going, so we're not far away from the lead at all. But so this race is really tough. You see I just don't quite get lucky with the back marker there, and I just have to back off, and that's cost me a little bit of time there, so I'm hoping I can just claw back onto the back of Dan and try and make the most of this. But he gets up the inside, oh no he doesn't actually. You can see each lap we're getting a little bit quicker as well. That's the other thing, you're chasing the track at this point, and it's just say, because if you make a mistake at this point, you could have such a big accident because you're taking a dry line which will give you the amount of speed that you wouldn't be able to cope with in the wet, so then when you hit that wet patch you go so much further off the circuit. I mean, for example, if anyone's seen Super GT's latest karting exploits, you'll know what happened to Tim at Whilton Mill. Just touched the damp patch and he got sent a mile off. You can see here we actually get through the back mark alright, but just because the way we had to take that corner, we lost a bit of time to Dan, and that time just doesn't seem to come back to me, whereas maybe on another day I'll be able to sort of get my claws in and try and catch him back up again. But for whatever reason, I was just not getting into the groove of this circuit. But you see now, Dan, I think he's the next guy ahead, but yeah, he's just kept that gap. And see here, I'm just trying to get past this fella, and I just can't quite get into the position. I obviously remembered getting past Martin there and completely overshooting it. And then Tim, see, look there, that's what you also see. He tried the dry line, so I got up the inside of him here, but he's got the drier outside line. It's just it's a proper minefield, and I just really struggle with this. And see that those two moments there cost me, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then here, I'd hope I get it done from this position. Yeah, I did. But then once again, look, so I can barely remember this. This is such a long time. But yeah, so we collapsed down again. Don't really know how I got up to him this time. I think it must be due to the fact that he is struggling a little bit in traffic, just like I was. Well, he got the bad end of it. But yeah, so we're trying to honestly just follow him through, because I don't think I can really put up much of a fight for Dan, unfortunately. He's really on form at the moment, and so it's pretty tricky to get the better of him. But coming through here, there's a lot of back markers in front, and I know that they're going to take an interesting line or go too slow. They actually have a crash, and everyone brake checks, and obviously I can only see so far ahead, and as you can see by that video there, I mean, if you saw that coming, I'll be impressed. I didn't even see it coming. I knew I should have known what was coming. But yeah, so everyone checked up, and I didn't see it at all. So I had not much place to go. But see how much time I've lost now, and now I've got to get past this back mark. And it's just, it's not, even if you're much faster, because the way you have to get past people in this is so tricky. I think here actually he's still on my outside. No. Oh yeah, that was it, yeah. So I don't actually know, I think I must have just completely misread the track conditions there, because I went for my outside line and he completely cut me up on the inside. I've lost 3 places, all to back markers, all to people that have been lapped. And that really sealed the deal for me finishing in this position. I don't think I get much further than this, but you can just see the struggles of having how tricky it is to manage this sort of surface. So you've got here, I'm trying to make sure, because obviously I don't want to hit them either, if I get a penalty for having a clumsy collision with a back marker, it's stupid. So I'm trying to be cautious enough to not hit them, but then I need to be aggressive enough just to make the pace. I don't know how far people are behind me. For all I know, there could be a couple of cars from position right behind me, because of my faffing around trying to get past people. You see here, I'm still stuck behind this guy. Don't get me wrong, he's not dreadfully slow or anything, but it's just, I know I could be a bit faster, and I really need to be making the most of that. So, into the boot again, not really much to report up the inside. Nice safe move. I hate having to do moves like this when you go right at the inside at the last corner. I think actually he tries to hold, yeah he does. And then this is what happens when you take the inside line. So that he takes an inside line, hits the wet patch, right, he's lucky to stay on the concrete, basically. Sometimes, say, a bit earlier in the race, if he tried that, he would have been into the fence post. Yeah, catching up. This might be Martin again, actually. But yeah, we're not going to make the same mistake, or we're going to try not to. I might end up doing it, I'm not sure. We've got yellow flags, and Martin's putting his hand up, so there's a yellow flag. Got to wait. Do I go through here? No, I don't know. I think I'm spooked by this corner after having that moment with the back markers. I just get a nice run in Martin there, get past him. Back into the boot, watching these guys, trying to judge the situation. They both take each other a little bit wide, so I can get past 1. Can I get past 2? No, don't want to risk it. So I've only got a minute and a bit left, and there's no one for position. anywhere in sight by the looks of it, so at least forwards I can sort of relax trying to get past them so hastily. Behind, I believe I was relatively clear. I didn't know at the time, but I could sort of assume, because to be fair, the top 5 in this championship we've seemed to have just a little bit more pace over the others for the most part. So I could sort of assume that I'm hoping I'm clear anyway, but I did get past earlier, so yeah, it's really however. But then this is just a horrible situation where you've got, look, see he's trying to slow down, yellow flags, sitting there waiting, and so I lost so much time in just instances like this that I could not get away with the front guys and say, I think it's Tim who ended up winning this one as well, so he has had, I think, 3 wins in a second, so it's not bad going, and there's the finish. So yeah, finished in 5th. Overall, pretty tough race, but yeah, so that's it. So there was a penalty, I want to say for Pritchard, or maybe Burr, I'm not sure. Definitely wasn't Anwar Tim though. And yeah, so I get then promoted to 4th, so I've had 2 4th places, which I'll take, to be honest. But yeah, so hopefully I can get some more editing done, because there's a lot of action that is yet to be on this channel, and I'll hopefully get into it in the very near future. I believe, if I remember how I've edited this, which to be honest I'm not sure. Yeah, so I've got coming soon, and this is just little clips of what's to come, hopefully on the channel sometime soon. So I will see you in the next one. Guys were lucky enough to spot that I wrote Whilton round 2 in that list, which is obviously the video you're watching now. Good job. I edited it and then didn't realise. Also, the music, I just picked anything at random. I'm not very good at the music. So, but yeah, on to the next one. Next one's at Lid, and yeah, I'm not sure which video will come up first, but I'll try and get some out soon. Bye.